So yeah, let me know, and then we can get you your Century Club water bottle as well. Let's get started in child's pose this afternoon, so we can get sweating and moving and all of the good stuff. Clear out all of the extra stuff. So take the first few moments. Let yourself get settled on the mat. Let your forehead sink down to the floor. Your hips settle down towards your heels. Take a nice long inhale through your nose. Fill yourself all the way up. And a big exhale out. 2 more like that. A full breath in. And a full breath out. Last one. Fill up all the way. Big exhale. And start to build your Ujjayi breath. Long inhale with a pause at the top. Long exhale with a pause at the bottom. Purposeful and intentional right from the beginning of your practice. Downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back and then move around any way you feel called to move. It's really your first opportunity to start to check in physically and see like, okay, that needs more space, that feels tight, or that feels sore. And where have you got some space? Can you get your brain down into your body, or at least start to work towards that? And walk your feet up to your hands, hang in ragdoll. So pull the pit of your belly way in and up, and then you can do what you'd like with your hands and your arms. Pit of your belly in and up so you can stretch that tissue, yes, Tyler, across the middle of your back and your low back to make some space. Then press into your feet, rise all the way up to standing. Reach through your fingertips, bring your thumbs to heart center. Set your intention for your practice. Pick one specific thing that you want to focus on. And we'll send out those intentions with 3 ohms. Deep breath in. Inhale, reach up, extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine. High to low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath in together. Empty it out. Good. 2 more like that. Breathe in. Breath out. Last one. Fill up. Push all the air back out. Look forward and move. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold down. Extended mountain. Rise up. Stretch the sides of your body. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Push the air back out. Very purposeful. In and out. Last one. Exhale completely. Step or jump, feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold down. Extended mountain. Rise up. Look between your fingers. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Breathe in together. Press your thumbs down on your exhale. Yeah, anchor them into the mat. Breathe in. Breath out. Last one. Exhale to the pit of your belly. Step or jump forward. Halfway lift. Fold down. Extended mountain. Rise up. Maybe go back on this one. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Keep building the breath one pose at a time. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Big exhale. Breath number 2. Empty it out. Last one. Exhale completely. Step or jump. Halfway lift. Fold down. One more, Sunny. Rise to stand. Stretch up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Get each fingertip down into the mat. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Empty it out. Full inhale. Big exhale. Last one. Empty out. Step or jump forward. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose for one breath. Reach. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side warrior one. Step your right foot forward. Rise up on the inhale. Chaturanga on your exhale. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left side, warrior one. Step into it. Inhale all the way up to your fingertips. Low push-up on your exhale. Upward facing. Downward facing. Breathe in together. Push the air back out. Yeah, on purpose. Breath in. Breath out. Last one, fill. Empty completely. Move forward. Halfway lift. Bow down. Chair pose. Sit way back in your hips. Good. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Keep working. One breath per pose. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side warrior one. Step into it and gaze up at the ceiling. Low push up on your exhale. Gaze to the mat. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Left side. Step through. A long inhale all the way up. Chaturanga on your breath out. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. Exhale. There it is. Breathe in. Empty out. Last one. Fill. Exhale completely. Step or jump forward. Halfway lift. Bow down. Chair pose. Sit and lift your toes. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Right side warrior. Step through. Knee right on top of your front ankle. Low push up. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Left side. Step through. Press, lunge, and reach. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Breathe in together. Exhale it out. Two more. In. Get empty. Last one. Fully exhale. Move forward. Halfway lift. Bow down. Last sun B. Chair pose. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Big breath in up dog. Let it out and down dog. Right side warrior one. Step through on empty. Rise on your inhale. Chaturanga on the exhale. Upward facing. Downward facing. Left side. Step, press, gaze on one point. Chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale down. Breathe in together. Exhale it out. Breath in. Exhale. Last one. Clear it all the way out. Send your right leg straight up and back. Bend your knee and open your hip. Keep the flow of the breath going. Big full inhales and complete exhales. You can stay right here or flip your dog. Go all the way over. Land, feet on the floor, fingertips in the floor. However that pose is showing up, and then spread your chest nice and broad. Could be some arm circles, could be cactus arms here. Yeah, to help coax the shoulder blades closer together. Then flip back over, side plank. Right hand to the floor, left hand up to the sky. Create the base however it needs to be. Knee down, leg in the air, thighs pressed together. And then wake up your fingertips on your top hand. Let them reach up toward the ceiling. Good. One more breath. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Send your left leg up to the sky. Bend your knee and open your hip. Stay or flip your dog. Touch, press, and expand up and away from the floor. So the more that you press down into your feet and your fingertips, the bigger and more open the front side of your body can become. Beautiful. Flip back over, side plank. Stretch your hands apart from one another. As much as you reach that top hand up to the ceiling, press down into your mat with the opposite hand. So they get further and further apart from one another. Last breath in, low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in together. Clear it out. Right side crescent lunge. Step your right foot between your hands. Up on the ball of your back foot this time. So you choose how far apart your legs are and how long your stance is front to back. Hands up to the sky. Come down a little lower in that lunging leg. Yeah, knee on top of your ankle, thigh parallel with your mat. Then hands to heart center. Twist right. Get your elbow just outside your knee. You can stick with palms touching or open up your arms. Spread them wide apart. Press your chest up and away. Your heart right up to the surface of your chest. One more breath together here. Stay for the whole exhale. Twist everything, then unwind. Warrior two. Up and around. So you adjust your feet however you need to. Your front heel in line with your back arch. Then take a deep lunge in your front leg. Extended side angle. Drop your elbow to your front thigh or fingertips by your front arch. You can certainly have your hand on a block down by your arch. I'm a big fan of using the block in this pose. It just gives you the space that you need to stretch out both side bodies while you're here. Stay here or take a bind. Top arm around your back. Maybe the bottom arm underneath your front thigh to make a full bind. One more breath right here. Chaturanga on your exhale. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side crescent lunge. Step your left foot through. Take a long enough stance that you can take a deep lunge in the front leg and still have your back heel stacked over the ball mound of your back foot. Then add the breath back in because it got quiet. Yeah, hands to heart center. Twist left. Palms together, arms apart. You choose. And then if the base starts to feel a little unstable, come back to what your feet are touching. Press down on purpose. One more breath here. Stay for the exhale. Twist. Warrior two. Face the opposite way. Make the adjustments. Long stance. Deep lunge in your front leg. Extended side angle. Elbow to thigh or fingertips by your arch. And then notice if you've shifted your torso forward, are you now coming out of your lunge and can you recommit to the lunge? Yes, good adjustments. Then add whatever piece you need here. The bind, both arms reaching past the front edge of your mat. The fullest expression of the pose for you. Take one more inhale. High to low push-up you go. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath in together. Clear it out. Good. Two more. In. Exhale. Last one. Push all the air back out. Step or jump, feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose and stay. Sit way back in your hips and let your toes get light and lifted on the mat. Hands to heart center, twist right. Spread your arms apart. Eyes set on one spot. Then everyone can sink their hips 2 inches deeper. Get it lower than your heart. Yes, stay right here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chair pose. Forward fold. First 2 fingers around your big toes. Bend your knees as much as you want or take your feet mat width distance apart and then tip your tailbone up to the ceiling. Heavy head. Let it hang down to the mat. And release your hands, heel toe your feet back together, squat down for chair pose. Deep back in your hips where your heels have most of the weight, your hips have most of the weight. Hands to heart, twist left. Palms together or palms apart. Check in. You create more space for the chest to open by sitting lower in your hips. Stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chair pose. Forward fold. Gorilla. Step on your palms, toes all the way up to your wrists. Then you can play around with shifting the weight into your toes and back into your heels, or maybe side to side. If it feels like your big toes are lifting up, press them back down and even that out. Come back to the breathing. Steady and rhythmic. Release your hands. Take crow pose from the head of your mat. Spread out your fingers super wide on your crow. Tuck your knees up in towards your armpits. And then you're making the shape of the pose regardless of whether or not your feet come off the ground. Just keep pressing the ground away with the fingertips so the rest of your body can get lighter. Yeah. And then whether the feet touch or not, draw everything into center line. The inner edges of your feet in towards center. Last breath. Step or jump, low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Empty it out. Full inhale. Big exhale. Last one. Exhale completely. Step or jump forward. Halfway lift. Fold down. Rise all the way up to standing. Eagle pose, right side. Right arm under, right leg over. Got pretty quiet. Come back to your breath. Yeah, as soon as you notice that it gets quiet in the space where you're practicing or in the studio where you're practicing, as soon as you notice, start breathing again so that the people around you can also remember to start breathing again. Left side eagle, left arm under, left leg over. It's one of the only places that you can on purpose breathe super loud in a way that anywhere else it might seem weird or obnoxious. Lets you sync up with the people around you while they're practicing too. Right side eagle, second set. It's an opportunity for you to come out of your head and down into your body and see what there actually is happening in your physical body, moment by moment. Switch sides, left side eagle. Squeeze skin to muscle to bone on your legs and your arms, right into center. Standing leg raise, right side. Grab a hold of your right raised knee or your extended right foot. Stand up nice and tall right here in center. Then tap into the four corners of your standing foot. Super common to lean the weight to the outside edge of your foot. See if you can get the inner edge of your foot down into the mat. Open your leg to the right. Reach and look to the left. Then check back in. Can you get the inner edge of your standing foot, nice Abby, to anchor down into the floor? Come back to center. Take airplane. Press that foot straight back behind you. Reach your arms straight back behind you. And press your chest straight forward. The chest to the lifted foot, a super long line between those two. Keep that long line. Half moon, open up. Left hand to the floor or your block. Right hand straight up to the sky. Flex your lifted ankle a lot to help float that top leg up toward the ceiling. You got it. One more breath here. Stretch all the way out. Both feet to the floor. Standing leg raise, left side. Grab the knee or the foot. Tall spine. Then play around with the four corners of the standing foot again, the inner edge of the foot down into the mat. Let that travel up your leg and up the center of your body. Open left, reach and look right. Travels up the center of your body so that muscle to bone connection can pull everything into center line. Come back to center. Airplane. Press the foot straight back. The more you press through that lifted foot, the easier it is to lean your chest forward. Yes, and then maybe you can get that lifted leg long and straight enough that it starts to shake a little bit. The muscles are turning on. Half moon, open up. Right hand down, left hand straight up. Helps to keep your gaze right on one spot as you open into the pose, and then shift your gaze if you want to take it somewhere else, but then you're just doing one thing at a time. Last breath together. Reach both feet to the mat. Standing bow or dancer's pose, right side. For standing bow, soft crease of the elbow faces outward so you can get your shoulder blades together on your back. Take your pose. You decide how far forward you're going to lean. Play around with it. You press your shin back to balance your chest tipping forward. Lift your lifted foot 2 inches higher. Switch sides. Left side, standing bow or dancer. Soft crease of the elbow out. Take your pose. And as you tip forward, you've got the push and the pull happening in the top half of your body. Keep a little bit of softness in your standing knee. Let the muscles around that knee stabilize your joint. Good. Last breath. Switch. Right side, second set. Eyes on one spot. Go for it. This pose needs a lot of breath. It needs extra air moving in and out of your body because there's a lot of different pieces moving and a lot of things going on. Eyes on one spot. Big, powerful breath. Last inhale. Switch. One more time. Standing bow. Left side. Glue the eyes to one spot. And if this is a pose for you like it is for me, where you get a little lightheaded when you come out of the pose, keeping your eyes glued, having that drishti really focused helps to stop that dizziness or lightheadedness. One more inhale. Press both feet to the mat. Tree pose, right side. Start with your hands at heart center. Let that foot come anywhere on your calf, on your shin, on your thigh, anywhere but the side of your knee is a good place for it. Any arm variation you want. No matter what arm variation that happens to be, press yourself up and away from the floor. So you're not only balancing on the one leg, but there's a stretch happening from foot to crown. One more breath. Switch sides. Left side tree. Start with your hands at heart center. Then you can choose the same arm variation or a different one. Find that point. Feel for the difference between just standing on the one leg and stretching actively away from the floor. There it is, Amy. Yeah, there's an energetic sense of the entire body participating in the pose when you're lifting away from the ground. Both feet to the mat. Extended mountain. Reach your hands up to the ceiling. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Lengthen your spine. High to low push-up, step or jump back. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Exhale it out. 2 more. Breath in. Breath out. Settle your gaze on one point. Last breath. Exhale completely. Right side triangle. Step your right foot between your hands. Take a big step so both of your legs can be long and straight, and then block on the outside of your shin or your fingertips on your shin. Tap back into the breath. Use the exhales to anchor both of your feet down into the mat. Purposeful and intentional, and everybody squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. Yes, so that you can expand the space across your upper chest. Press into your feet, rise all the way up to standing. Side facing wide leg fold. Turn both feet to face the long edge of your mat and hinge forward. Got a few different options on the side. You can take some ninja lunges side to side, bend one knee and then the other. You can work on an inversion or a fold. Whatever's calling to you this afternoon, choose that option. And if you're not sure what the right thing is, you can look around and pick something that looks like it's the right thing and then do that. Most importantly, breath attached to your movement, whether it's a little bit of movement or a lot. You've got another breath or two to get complete with where you're working. And press into your feet and rise up. Namaste, front facing forward fold. Turn both feet to face the front edge of your mat. Bring your thumbs into your hip creases for this one. So elbows back behind you, thumbs in your hip creases, so you can actively press those hip creases back as you fold forward. So you're stretching in both directions. The crown of the head as far forward as it'll go, and then your hands, your thumbs, to help press your hips straight back. Keep them back there. Yeah, you can drop your hand down to the block or the floor. Deep hip creases in the front side of your body. Twisting triangle. Left hand to the floor or block. Right arm straight out and open to the side. Can you keep deep hip creases while you twist your torso to the side of the room? And then notice if your hips start to swing the direction that you're looking, can you pull them back into alignment? Nice. Take one more breath together here. Stay for the whole exhale. Twist, twist, twist. High to low push up. Hands to the mat. Upward facing dog. Rise up. Downward facing dog. Press back. Left side triangle. Step your left foot between your hands. Set up your block. Set up your feet. And then start to expand out from the center of your body. Fingertips away from your palms, both feet away from one another. So you're stretching out in all directions. And press into your feet, rise all the way up to standing. Side facing wide leg fold, this time with a bind. So interlace your fingers at your low back or take a towel between your hands, hinge forward. Some of you can turn your feet in a little bit so they're at least parallel, if not a little bit pigeon-toed. That'll shift the stretch to the outside of your ankle and the outside of your shins. Good adjustments. Add more breathing. More breathing so that your shoulders can soften a bit. The back of your neck can soften a little bit. Release your hands to the mat and rise up to standing. Namaste, front facing, thumbs in your hip creases. Press them straight back behind you as you hinge forward. So whatever leg is forward is usually the hip that tries to pull itself forward and take it out of the stretch. Keep pressing that left hip crease deep into your body. Keep creases nice and deep, twisting triangle. Right arm down, left arm out. Pull your left hip 2 inches back. Yes. And then if that hasn't shifted how much work you've got going on in the back of your left leg, you can pull it back a little bit further. Try that on. One more breath together here. Stay for the exhale. High to low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Exhale it out. Breath in, breath out. Last one. Exhale completely. Roll out to a high plank. Shoulders stacked right on top of your wrists. You're going to hold the plank for a little bit so you can lower your knees and keep the plank in your upper body, or keep the full plank. Stay here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way to the floor. Set up for locust pose. Reach your hands back by your hips. Palms face the floor so you can squeeze your shoulder blades together. Rise up. Rise up. Shoulder blades in towards your spine. Inner thighs in towards center line so your body gets as long and narrow as possible. A little bit of a tuck to your chin so your neck can be long too. Yeah, there you go. Good adjustments. You've got one more breath. Stretch. Lower down. Rock your hips out left and right. Second set, locust pose. Hands can stay by your hips or you can interlace them behind you. Rise up. Long. Go for length rather than height. So even if you're just an inch off of the mat, the longest your body can possibly go. Good. Inner thighs together. You've got one more inhale. Lower down. Side to side with your hips. Floor bow number 1. Bend your knees and grab your ankles. We're taking 2, so if you want to take one leg at a time, that's always an option. Press down, rise up. Shins straight back behind you. Best you can, send your knees straight back behind you too, instead of out to the sides. Good. Take one more breath. Lift, lower down. Windshield wiper the legs left and right. Second set of floor bows. Switch legs or grab both legs again. Rise up and away from the mat. Big, full open chest. Shoulder blades squeeze together on your back and make more space. Good. Big inhale. Press. Lower down. Side to side. Upward facing dog. Rise up off your mat. Downward facing dog. Lower your knees for one camel pose. So you can have your toes tucked or untucked and back for camel. Start with your hands on your low back. Lift your chest up to the ceiling. Stretch your whole body up and out of your hips as you make your way back. And if it feels okay for the low back, you can drop your hands to your heels. Set your gaze right on one spot. On your next inhale, lift yourself up and away from the floor. Downward facing dog to reset. Super long spine in your down dog. Then look between your hands, jump through to sit. Come into staff pose with your legs straight out in front. Flex your ankles, point your toes straight up to the ceiling, then slow as you can, lower your back to the mat. One bone at a time. See if you can get your low back to touch the floor before the middle of your back. Yeah, breathe on your way down too. That's another important piece. Breath and the integration all the way down to the floor. Bridge pose. Bend your knees, feet on the mat. Press down, lift up. So you've got options with your arms. You can clasp your hands underneath you or take cactus arms here and press your shoulders into the mat that way. Shoulders straight down, feet straight down to lift the whole front side of your body. Last breath in, lower down. Take your knees left and right. All right, yoga, it's time for wheel pose. You can stick with bridge and keep working that pose or take wheel. For wheel, tuck your fingertips under your shoulders, press down and rise up. Up and away from the mat. Bridge or wheel. Zero hesitation, just taking the pose and see what comes of it. Tuck your chin and lower down. Breathe in together. Breathe out together. Number 2, press, lift, go. And if you're staying up in the pose, what happens when you stay a little longer? Where can you send your breath? How big can you make the pose? Come on down. Breath in, breath out. Number 3, press, lift, go. Bridge or wheel. You're at the halfway point, so what's here? Now that you've taken the pose a few times, what's possible? Then tuck your chin and come down. Breathe in. Big exhale. Number 4, press and go. You're past the halfway point. Set your gaze right on one spot. Tuck your chin and lower. Breath in. Big breath out. Number 5, go up. Only 2 more to go. Bridge, wheel, gaze focused on one point, then come on down. Breath in. Big exhale. Last one, yogis. Last bridge, last wheel. Rise up and go. Stay up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Supta Baddha Konasana. Press the soles of your feet together. Knees open wide. Eyes stay open. Let them land on one spot right up at the ceiling. Happy baby or dead bug. Soles of the feet up to the sky. Grab the outside edges of your feet. Get as much of your spine, as much of your low back on the floor as possible. And send your legs straight up in the air. Set yourself up for scissor legs, either hands behind your head or hands underneath your hips. Lower the right leg halfway to the mat. Take a breath in. Exhale, switch your legs. Stay and breathe in. Exhale, switch. Stay and breath in and switch. Keep going with your breathing. Really purposeful about it. Breath to movement. Keep going for 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Flex your ankles. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs straight up. Hands can move to under your hips if you need them there for support. Lower both legs 30 degrees. Lower them 60. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Lower to hover. Flutter kick your feet. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs straight up. Belly down to the mat. Shoulders down to the mat. Lower both legs 30. Lower 60. Lower to hover. Open and close the legs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs straight up. Reset. Belly down, shoulders down. Last one. Lower 30. Lower 60. Lower to hover. Tiny circles with the feet. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs up. Knees into your chest. Abdominal twists are next. Hands behind your head. Move elbow to opposite knee. Go for it. You go at your own pace. Feet awake the entire time, either flexed ankles or pointed toes. Yes, a choice with the feet. Keep going for 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees into your chest. Rock forward and back 3 times. Come up into boat pose. Boat pose with your hands on the backs of your thighs, your arms out to the side. Lift and spread your chest. Yeah, and you can start with the feet on the ground to really gather everything in and then let them come up and away from the floor, or keep them on the floor if you want. You've got 2 more breaths here in boat pose. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, squeeze everything into center. 1 more time. Breath in. Squeeze into center. Downward facing dog. Make your way there. can vinyasa your way there, just step straight back to downward facing. Right side half pigeon, right knee to right wrist. Bring the outside of your thigh parallel with the edge of your mat. And give your forehead a place to rest. It can be on stacked fists, it can be on a block, it can be on the floor. Steady breathing. An intentional choice to stay committed to the breath all the way to the last pose. Maybe all the way to the end of your Friday. That steady rhythmic breath in the background the whole way. That opened up a lot of space for me when I first started practicing yoga, and I realized, oh, I don't have to breathe like that just when I'm on my yoga mat. I can breathe like that when I'm stressed out too, and that'll help. I can breathe like that when I feel overwhelmed, and that'll help. Get distracted, back to the breath, it helps. Downward facing dog. Left side half pigeon. Left knee to left wrist. Thigh parallel with the edge of your mat, and then you can decide how far forward you bring your shin. Get yourself situated, and then attention on your breath. How could your practice shift if every single time you were on your mat, you were aware of the breath in every single pose? Whether it's for a single breath because you're going through sun salutations, or it's a lot of breaths because you're in something like half pigeon. Few more breaths here. Downward facing dog. One last hip opener, frog pose. So you can take the pose on your back with your feet against the wall, or taking the pose facing the floor with your mat used as a cushion for your knees. I like to have a towel under one knee and then my other knee on my mat so my one knee can slide out on the towel. It's up to you. Once you've got the distance of your knees sorted out, flex your ankles, point your toes straight out to the left and straight to the right. Yeah, there you go. On purpose about it. Steady breath here. The shape of the pose will help you open up the hips. Nothing left to be done. Just breathing and staying. And as soon as you get distracted and pulled away from the breath, you notice and come right back. You're here for 5 more breath cycles. So a full inhale with a pause, full exhale with a pause, 5 times. At the end of your 5th breath cycle, start to make your way out of frog. You've got time. Yep. Just work your way forward as you're coming out of the pose and then bring your legs together. Seated single leg extension is next. Right leg straight forward, left heel in towards your right thigh. Fold over your leg. Point your toes up toward the ceiling and then at least a little bit of softness to the knee on your extended leg. Steady rhythmic breath right here so that it can soften the edges of the pose and let you fold a tiny bit deeper. Switch sides, left leg out, right heel in. Fold over your extended leg. Breathe loud enough for your neighbor to hear you all the way to the end. Press the center of your heel straight forward. Seated forward fold, both legs stretch straight out in front of you. Fold at your hips, deep hip creases as you fold forward. Take one more breath together here in this fold. Stay for the exhale, melt. Rise back up. Tabletop or reverse plank. Plant your palms behind your hips. Fingertips face the front edge of your mat. Rise up. Tabletops, bent knees. Planks, you've got long, straight legs. Then if it feels okay for your neck, you can drop your head back or you can keep your chin tucked so the back of your neck can be long. Good. Planks, point your toes down towards the floor. You've got one more breath here. Lower down. Fish pose. You can stick a block between your shoulders or tuck your hands underneath you. Just make sure that you're set up in a way that the top of your head can touch the floor. And if it can't, you can always put another block underneath your head to bring the floor up to you. Wide open chest. Eyes stay open. See what you see. Maybe a few exhales through your mouth to clear out whatever's like right on the surface. Get that out of your system. Take one more breath in together. Big exhale out. Make your way off the side of the block or untuck your hands. Time to get upside down, inversion time. So you can take waterfall on your back with your legs in the air, or shoulder stand, any type of headstand or handstand work that you want to work on. Now's the time. And all the tools that you've been fine-tuning all practice come into play while you're upside down as well. You've just changed the orientation of your body. Ankles flexed, feet up to the ceiling as if they're touching the ceiling. A steady breath that travels the entire length of your body. Shoulder stands, you can make your way to plow pose, long legs behind you. Yeah, if you're in waterfall and want to take plow, go right ahead. Cloud to deaf yogi. Bend your knees, hug them around the sides of your head. Let your spine round towards the front edge of your mat like a C shape. And slowly lower back to your mat, piece by piece, bone by bone. Hug your knees into your chest when you get there. Take supine twist. Drop your knees to the right, twist and look to the left. Let your shoulder blades melt down to the mat. If you want to increase the stretch on the outside of your top leg, you can straighten out that leg. Get an IT band stretch. Supine twist, opposite way. Heavy shoulder blades down on the floor. Supta Baddha Konasana. Come back to center. Press the soles of your feet to touch one more time. You've already got that cold eye towel by the upper corner of your mat, so you can put that wherever you'd like now, or you can wait till Shavasana. The blissfully cold eye towel. Shavasana. Let your legs stretch out on the floor. Arms stretch out by your side. Take a long breath in through your nose. Fill yourself up and up and up. Exhale it out. Let your entire body rest easy on your mat. Deepen your breath. Bring some movement back into your hands and your feet. And plant your feet on the floor and rock onto your right side. With your eyes still closed, press down and rise up. Take a comfortable seat. Inhale, reach your hands overhead. Exhale, thumbs to heart center. We'll finish our practice together with 3 final ohms. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath in. Exhale it out. Thumb knuckles to forehead center. Thank you all so much for choosing to come to the studio on a lovely fall afternoon. Namaste. Good work, everybody. All right. Eye towels and regular towels can go in the hamper just outside the studio door. And if you borrowed a block or anything, you can put them over in the corner so I know which ones need to be sprayed down. Have an awesome rest of your Friday, and hopefully I will see you next week in one of our workshops that we're hosting. We still have 3 workshops coming up, so if you're interested or want to know more about them, let me know. I'll see you soon.